unlike Raj, who he worked for. When you say tenacious, that's just the beginning of it. Paul was just a wonderful man. A week ago, we left Scottsdale, Arizona, and we had a void in our pack. There was a tremendous void, but we had Paul's vest hanging in the RV the entire time. To think that he could be with us and share with us what was happening. Paul was just a wonderful man. His passing is tremendous impact on me. I'm now the oldest, the worst golfer. Paul wanted me to change my name to Firestone, so everything he gave me would be, monogrammed. You all got at least 3 or 4 shirts a year from Paul that said Firestone, but I didn't go quite that far. I loved being with Paul. I spent a lot of time in his office. That was the passenger seat of the Mustang, and sometimes he didn't clean it quite enough when I got in. He had a portfolio of business cards that was worth more than the Mickey Mantle rookie card, okay? In this industry, that was a treasure trove of information. And Paul was wonderful when he asked you to do something. There were times he gave me almost an hour to call back to see if I'd done it. Literally, did you call him, Bob? Can he help you? Will he do that? What a wonderful, special man. And he loved his family. He talked about his family constantly. Well, he talked constantly. So he included everyone and everything. So the pack has put together a few things for you. Mike?
We brought Paul's vest back also to present to Maryland.
So, Bob and Raj, you did a fabulous job. Paul was funny to me. I didn't know him as long, and so I'll probably change the story up a little bit. But when you're riding motorcycles across the country and you stop every 150 miles to fuel up, stretch your legs, and I've known Paul for years now. And of course, like Bob said, he would always be asking, "Hey, do you know so-and-so?" Well, I got conditioned to answering that quickly, but then there were 54 questions that came after that, right? Well, would you call him for me? Do you know him? How do I get connected? So when we're on the motorcycles and we're stopping, Paul was hilarious because he would continue to do that while we're sitting on the motorcycles, we're getting fuel. And I one time told Paul, I said, "Paul, we have, our ear things in, so we can't, we don't go deaf on the ride." It didn't bother him one bit. He just kept right on going, take it out, The guy was special. And he figured out a way that my daughter used to work with me when I had my company before I sold it. And so if I was busy, like you said, if I didn't call him back in like 30 minutes or an hour and a half, my daughter would come in the office and say, "Would you please call Paul back?" So we did. We had a lot of fun with him, and the ride, across the country with him in the RV was just spectacular. The guy is funny. He was amazing. He took care of us. I mean, he did things for us that I never would even have thought of doing. And we never had a support vehicle before Raj and Paul. And when, again, you're riding thousands of miles across the country, we're kind of dumb, We never occurred to us the bikes may break or we might have a problem, and Paul just sucked it up. He became that guy. And for that, we were safer, better, smarter, happier. And I would say probably a little more drunk occasionally because the RV was full. So with that kind of spirit.
And he said something to you about how magical your view was.
Oh, he did say that to me. Thank you. So he was mystified and curious about the riders. He really found the whole riding thing to be pretty cool, and he was constantly asking questions about it. Well, from his catbird seat, as a driver in the RV, how many of you ride? Anybody ride? Okay, so when you're riding, you stagger, and you're kind of like airplanes. You're like fighter jets, right? You go over here, you go over there, you go over there. And so, I don't know where we were, but one time he came over and he said, after we had just a fantastic little run, beautiful weather and all, and he came over and he goes, that's poetry. That's absolute beauty. So, So we have something for you.
Marilyn,
Well, me?
Yes.
and the family.
I got to do better at this than Raj. Okay.
I thought Raj was just fine.
I thought Raj did a great job.
He held it together. So, you know, he's a warrior, right? He's
Who?
Rick Paul.
Oh, God, yes.
He's a warrior. He hung in there with all of us, taking
Yes.
good care of us, making sure that we were all taken care of. And so I think, you know, I'm the only veteran in the group. And so in the typical military style, you have to present this to the wife. So I hand folded it. We had it made. That's for you. Keep it in a safe place. And I think you got something else too.
Sure. This is a photo that we were sent of Paul, and a couple of phrases that we've heard very often from Paul. The guys that didn't return his calls within 14 minutes, he'd call back and say, "Are you mad at me?"
I've heard that.
Yeah. And the other one is, "Want to meet me at Firestone?"
I haven't heard that.
So this is for you as well.
Oh, you guys are wonderful. Can I hug you too? May I?